Hello, my name's Betty, and I've been reading from my mother's diary that she wrote in 1954 and 1955. It's pretty ragged. I've already recorded what she wrote in 1954 in different videos. So today I'm going to start with January 1st, 1955. This is an exciting year for her. She has her first grandbaby and learns that her second one will be born later in the year. So I'm going to start with January 1st, 1955. Dear Diary, I cooked peas for New Year's. Hope we will have some good luck throughout the year of 1955. It's been a rainy day. January the 2nd. Dear Diary, today has been a pretty day. We all went to church and Sunday school. Reuben, children, Howard, and Minnie came this evening. Dear Diary, today has been another beautiful day. So warm outside. Go outside with a coat. Reuben and I went to see the chief of police this morning. That's a neighbor of hers, and I'm not sure what's going on. She mentioned them seeing her going with her to an attorney before. So I know my neighbor had some difficulty in her life, but I was too young to know what it was about, I guess. But my mother's been going with her. January the 4th. Dear Diary, today I've done a big washing. It has been warm and partly cloudy. The children and I went to Valley Point to the basketball game with Howard and Minnie. Boys beat Northwest, girls lost. That's a rival school in the area, Northwest. We went to Valley Point. January the 5th. Dear Diary, it is still warm, partly cloudy. Minnie came and we done her washing this evening. I went to see Mrs. Johnson. That's her next door neighbor. Dear Diary, today we washed and it started raining. But then the sun came out and it was very bright. So we had to hang her clothes on line back then, and she was using an old wringer washer. So I'm sure she wouldn't have started washing if she thought it was going to rain, because she wouldn't have had any way to dry them. So that was a surprise for her. January 7th. Dear Diary, today I learned today I can't even read that. Normally we went to town. Charlie is going to work tonight at 1 o'clock. So even though they've started a little small store in 1954, it was like November, and it's just started to grow a little bit. My daddy's having to work night shift. I think it was mostly a night watchman. January the 8th. Dear Diary, today Elaine and I went to town, bought gifts for Minnie's shower. Aunt Della, HD, and Minnie came by for me. We went to the clubhouse for her shower tonight. So Aunt Della is my mother's sister's sister, and they live near my brother and his wife, so we saw Aunt Della a good bit. January the 9th. Dear Diary, I stayed in bed till 7 o'clock this morning. Betty and Wanda went to church. Me and the girls went to Howard Minnie's this evening. Mr. and Miss Sailors came today. That's Minnie's mother and dad. January the 10th. Dear Diary, today has been a long rainy day. I laid around. mostly all day. Went to Mrs. Johnson's a while tonight to see her new washer. It is 9:15 and I am ready to go to bed. So her next door neighbor has a new washing machine and she's gone up there to see it because that was a big deal back then. January the 11th. Dear Diary, I haven't done much today. Just run the store while Charlie slept. January 12th. Dear Diary, I ironed today, got all the ironing done and put away. January 13th. Dear Diary, I woke up this morning, the wind whistling about. Later it started snowing. Looked like an Ohio blizzard for about 45 minutes. So when we got to Ohio, we saw some snow. We wasn't used to that much snow, even though back then we had bigger snows than we've normally had in Georgia in later years. But she's referring to that one snowing all day and looking like it did in Ohio. I think she skipped a day here, but here's the January 16th. Dear Diary, today has been fair and cold. Wanda went to Sunday school. Howard, Minnie, Reba, and children came later. So skips another day. I think she just got on the wrong page because this is January the 14th. Dear Diary, today was fair. Charlie slept until 12. I washed this evening. I was so tired I hurt. Elaine got left at school, had to catch the second load. Now my sister Elaine was about 3 years older than me and I was 9 years old at the time. January the 15th. Dear Diary, my clothes is still on the line. It rained all day today. Old Bess, the cow, didn't want her food tonight. They had a cow that they kept in the neighbor's barn because I remember walking over there with my mother to milk the cow because she was afraid that the cow would kick her, so she'd always have one of us children go with her in case she had to send one of us to get help for her. And I never was much of a cow fan either, but I'd go with her. January the 18th. Dear Diary, today has been cold. I haven't done much of anything. 19th. Today I ironed, not quite so cold. We all feel bad. Charlie didn't sleep much. We skipped around trying to be quiet. We had a little house, so it was hard to do in a 2-bedroom, living room, kitchen, and then the store was on our front porch. So January the 20th. Dear Diary, today Reba came, wanted me to go to town. I had to cook dinner. Howard and Minnie came. We had collards. They was good. That's collard greens. January 21st. Dear Diary, today has been cold. Reba came a while, brought my gift for Sue Silver's shower tonight. I sent it, didn't get to go. So Sue Silvers lives across the road, and we didn't much visit back and forth with those families like we did the people right next to us and on our side of the street. But we knew them. But she was invited to the baby shower, and she went to Sue's shower. And I remember Sue was a good bit older than me. But maybe not as old as my brothers were. January the 22nd. Dear Diary, today has been cold again. We have clean house, looking for Beulah and family tomorrow. Beulah is her twin sister, and they live in Atlanta. So anytime they came, that was my mother was thrilled. January 23rd. Dear Diary, Beulah came. Aunt Laura was with them. Howard, Minnie, Aunt Della, we had a good time. Wish they could come more often. January 24th. Dear Diary, today Charlie slept in this morning. Got up and I watched the store while I done washing. I am awfully tired. 25th. Dear Diary, today has been clear and cold. Last night was Charlie's last night to work at Bellcraft. Wanda is sick, stayed out of school today. Wanda's my younger sister. She's 17 months younger than me. Dear Diary, today was cold. Wanda is still sick. Had to take her to the doctor to have her nose packed. It sure did bleed. Now, I don't know what. I remember having nosebleeds, and I can't remember what caused it. So, but I guess it don't happen today like it did back then. January 27th, Dear Diary, today it snowed about all day, but it didn't lay. Howard Minnie came. Wanda is not much better. January 28th, Dear Diary, today has been real cold. I ironed this evening. Mrs. Charles, Juanita, and Milda came. Wanda is about the same. Wayne came a while tonight. That's my uncle. I think him and his wife lived at Elijah's. So, January 29th, Dear Diary, it has been clear and cold today. Betty is about sick. That's me. Wanda is still sick. Betty McCann and her husband came tonight. Now, I know that some McCanns live down the road from us, and I'm not sure if Betty was one of the children or if that was the mother. Anyway, January the 30th. Dear Diary, today was cold. The children are all feeling bad. Homer Weaver and Roy came this evening. And that's an uncle and I guess another one of the people he knew. They lived at Elijah. January 31st, Dear Diary, I took Elaine to the doctor. She has side pleurisy. Minnie came to wash. Clear and windy today. And that's my older sister. And I remember her having side pleurisy, but I couldn't remember when. Dear Diary, this is February 1st. Dear Diary, today has been warmer. We had thunder showers. Mr. and Miss Johnson came a while tonight. February 2nd. Dear Diary, I done my washing. Began turning cold this evening. Wanda went back to school. She's been out a week. Elaine and Betty are better. February 3rd. Dear Diary, today was cold and cloudy. Elaine started to school, got off the bus at McBrayer's with her nose bleeding. Betty and Wanda went on. So now she's got the same problem that my younger sister had. Dear Diary, today has been clear and cold. The children are out of school, teachers' meeting. I don't feel good. Mrs. Charles came this morning. Billy, our bird, laid his first egg today, and that's a little parakeet. February the 5th. Dear Diary, today was cloudy and cold. Reba and children, Howard and Minnie came tonight. February the 6th. Dear Diary, it rained all day today. I went to the doctor. Mrs. and Miss Johnson came tonight. February 7th. Dear Diary, today has been cloudy and cold. Anne came in to see the bird. Mr. and Miss Johnson came. brought me some tea and lettuce. Dear Diary, today I cleaned the house. Mrs. Johnson and Mrs. Charles came. My mother, between washing and ironing, cleaning house, and taking care of 3 little girls and working in the store, she stayed pretty busy. Dear Diary, February the 9th. Today has been a pretty day. Mrs. Johnson came and helped me wash. Mrs. Fight, Howard, and Minnie, and Mrs. Charles came. I am feeling some better. February 10th. Dear Diary, today has been right pretty. Howard and Minnie came and washed their car. They took Betty and I to PTA at Valley Point. Betty was in a play. Hey, I guess I was a budding actress. I don't remember being in a play, but she's got it recorded. February the 10th, 1955, I was an actress. Oh, crazy. February the 11th, Dear Diary. I woke up this morning and it was snowing. Turned real cold and fired up about 12. Charlie got a job at Lawtex, goes to work Monday. February 12th, Dear Diary, today was the coldest day we had in years. Our water lines froze and busted to the bathroom. February 13th, Dear Diary, we have stayed home all day. It began to snow in the evening. February the 14th, Valentine's Day. I cleaned house. Howard and Minnie Ruth came. The girls got several Valentines at school. Elaine got a cute one from Jackie. And I'm thinking Jackie's our little next door neighbor. So he was a little bit older than me and about her age. So, and my sisters were beautiful, so they had more boyfriends than I ever did. February the 15th, Dear Diary. Today was a pretty day. Reba and Leela Mae came tonight. 16th, Dear Diary. Today has been cloudy, rain some, Howard and Minnie come. February 17th, Dear Diary. Today was partly cloudy and windy. Minnie, Ruth, and I washed our clothes. They got dry. So, I remember hanging clothes out on the clothesline in the freezing cold, and they'd get stiff and take forever to dry. February the 18th, Dear Diary, I went to town with Reba this morning. We went to see an attorney, and we got Wanda and Pauline some shoes. I ironed this evening. Wanda and Betty was out of school with a sore throat. February 19th, Dear Diary, today has been cloudy and warm. I went to town with Mrs. Johnson. Charlie has to go in on the 3rd shift tonight. I wish he could have stayed on the 2nd. February 20th, Dear Diary, today has been warm. Girls and I went to church, and Mr. and Miss Johnson, Harold and Norma Lee came. Betty and Ann Quinn came by taking census for Sunday school. Now that Betty is a neighbor. That Betty and Ann Quinn are sisters. February 21st, Dear Diary, today has been windy and warm. The girls all went to school. Mrs. Johnson came. She didn't write on February 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, or 28th. And that was leap year, so she didn't write on February 29th. So I will close this out for now, and I'll start in March 1955 on my next video. And I hope you enjoy it, and I know my family is probably watching more of this than anyone else, but if whoever you are, just thank you for showing up and thank you for coming by and listening, and have a wonderful day. And let's just remember to live, laugh, and love. Keep everybody happy and try to find happiness in our own lives. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to do my little thing, turn over here, turn my phone off.